What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video we are bringing Weezing to the Halloween Cup. This is a very spicy Pokemon, but it has an incredibly strong moveset. Infestation as a fast move, which does pretty well at gaining energy. Also has Sludge Bomb, Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, and Dark Pulse. I believe Hyper Beam as well, or Return I should say. So really strong moveset. I decided to use Sludge Bomb and Thunderbolt to help me basically cover the waters, do well against fairies, do well against Azumarill, that whole thing. But it's going to be a fun video. Hope you guys enjoy. Alright, so the strategy behind this was to lead with Gavantula, and if it was neutral or lead loss, we're going to go straight into Weezing. Like in this case, we're going to go ahead and go straight into Weezing, and our hope is to draw out something that Gavantula beats, like a Quillfish here. Now, because I used a Weezing, I don't think a lot of people know the moveset. Maybe they do a bit more now, but honestly, I think a lot of people underestimate the power from Weezing. Here comes the Thunderbolt. Boom! Nearly one-shots the Quillfish, and we can farm down, taking switch advantage. This is going to be a fun video. Weezing is a sleeper of a Pokemon. I believe it was ranked like 111 for the Halloween Cup, which just goes to show that rankings are not everything. These Pokemon are very strong. What you need to be focusing on is the movesets that they have access to, along with kind of the typing and stats as well. And Weezing is just pretty well rounded, I think. So we're just going to go ahead and let that crunch go through. We're going to bring in the Gavantula now to Shadow Drapion. We do have shield advantage, so I will give up one shield here to stop this first crunch, as if I can land this lunge, the next crunch won't do as much damage. So we're going to go ahead and throw the lunge, but they make a great swap back into Alolan Ninetales, so this lunge will be resisted, but applying that debuff is going to be huge, as we can come in with Wormadam Trash now, and completely farm down. This is actually a really nice setup for me. All the moves here from Alolan Ninetales we are resisting because of our steel typing here, so Dazzling Gleams, Weather Balls, Psyshocks, nothing's going to take us down. So we're just going to Confusion all the way down. It's going to get very close, potentially, especially if they keep throwing these Weather Balls here. So I'll have to keep an eye on that. But I think Confusion and just holding all my energy here is going to be the best play. So, yeah, Weezing, everyone. Super fun Pokemon to use, and honestly, the energy gain isn't too bad. It's very satisfying, but we're going to see the Drapion come back in, so we're just going to go ahead and go for Iron Heads here, not Iron Tails, Iron Heads, as we do have multiple, so we'll just throw the second one, and then we will look to swap into Gavantula to Volt Switch down with our fast move there, as we do have a shield, and we can just stop that easily, and that is going to be a good game, very well played to my opponent. This is what I really noticed today, is people were not expecting it. People were not expecting a Weezing to be safe swapped in. You could see the kind of what's going on here circumstances, but now we have Frostlass on the lead. So what I like to do here is just go for that discharge first. This is really going to force a shield from our opponent, because if they decide not to shield, we can completely win this lead matchup. So they do decide to shield, which is fine by me. I'm going to go ahead and shield myself, and I should be going for a lunge on this next charge move to apply the debuff, as they likely will want to shield again, but I decided to go for discharge. I think either way is okay. The only benefit for going for lunge here, if they do shield, is getting the debuff. So on the back end, because I'm going to let Gavantula go down now, is Wormadam wouldn't take as much damage from a Shadow Ball, because that's basically what's going to happen right here. We have 1-0 shields, and we're going to save it for the Weezing, and I'm going to let the Wormadam tank a Shadow Ball. It's going to hurt. It does neutral damage, but it can tank it. They actually went for the Avalanche and then swap out into Drapion, which is fine by me. I'm going to go ahead and go for Iron Head here, doing as much chip damage as I can without wasting too much energy, and then swapping over to Weezing now to close this thing out against Drapion, because Thunderbolt is such a nice move here on the Weezing. So we're going to go ahead and let the crunch go through. We got to save it just in case we get debuffed, and we will shield this next one now. And this is also going to allow us to overfarm a bit. I don't need to throw the Thunderbolt right away. I need to have some extra energy. So as you can see, I'm very close to 2 Sludge Bombs right there, which is going to come in clutch. So we're going to throw this Thunderbolt right here, taking out the Drapion for neutral damage. We'll have to see what they decide to bring in. They're going to bring back in the Frostlass. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the Sludge Bomb now before they can get to another Avalanche. This is resisted, but it's going to do enough chip damage, which is very necessary, and the final Pokemon is a Azumarill. So this is kind of why I decided to go with Sludge Bomb, was for fairies, which are, you can see every now and then, and also a Azumarill. So the Sludge Bomb here does super effective damage. We're going to swap out now into the Wormadam and look to go for the Iron Head. This is game over if this is a Hydro Pump, so we're risking it for the biscuit here, and it's actually just a play rough, so things are looking very good. We just need to get to this Iron Head, but the opponent decides to surrender, and that is going to be a good game, very well played. Alright, moving into the next one, we have Gavantula on the lead versus Shadow Drapion. So I'm actually going to swap right away into Weezing, knowing that Thunderbolt can do a lot of neutral damage, and kind of hope to draw out something in the back, maybe another Quillfish in this game. But this is actually an Aqua Tail Drapion, which is going to be interesting because we can survive 2. So I don't necessarily have to give up any shields in this situation, because Thunderbolt against a Shadow Drapion is going to hurt. So we do get 1 shield right there, which is nice, okay. We'll let this next Aqua Tail go through, and I'm hoping I can get to 1 more Thunderbolt in time, but I don't think I'm going to make it. So they decide to throw the Aqua Tail right away. I believe I decide to shield this one and try to go for 1 more Thunderbolt if I can. I really want to do that extra damage to the Drapion because that's just going to help us out. And if I get 2 shields, so be it. We do get 2 shields right there, so they are very adamant about keeping Drapion alive to take us out. Maybe they're weak in the back to poison, so maybe there's fairies in the back, which is why Wormadam is looking very strong. But we're going to go ahead and come in with the Wormadam right here to tank the charge move because they have energy loaded. We'll have to see how they react. I think they're just going to stay in and just try to eliminate all of my Pokemon with a Drapion. But honestly, Drapion's such a strong Pokemon. You can use it in Open Great League as well because of the Poison Sting update, allowing it to gain energy so quickly. But we're going to go ahead and swap now into Gavantula, and we see that there's actually a Toxicroak in the back. So I know I was loading up on energy with Wormadam, but I just had this feeling that something in the back is weak to Wormadam as well, so I needed to keep it alive. We're going to go ahead and shield that Mud Bomb, overload on energy, basically max 100 energy right here, and now throw the Discharge to take out the Toxicroak, as it does quite a bit of neutral damage. And let's see what decides to come in. If the Drapion comes in, which it does, we're going to have to throw this lunge right away. I could just go for Discharge. Both moves are the same energy right here, so it's not too bad. But Lunge takes out the Drapion. The final Pokemon is going to be a Frostlass. So we're just going to go ahead and go for Discharge, do as much damage as we can. And remember, I had loaded energy on Wormadam as well. So after throwing this Discharge, I'm going to swap. I'm 1 fast move away. That is so unfortunate. I thought I swapped out with the Iron Head energy, but I did not. So I go down right there. It's going to be a race to the final charge move. And with exactly 1 HP and a dream, we're able to pull this off. Gavantula is such a strong, dynamic, kind of flexible Pokemon here with its energy and charge moves. Really fun to use and good game right there to that opponent. That was a literal 1 HP and a dream. Alright, so we got another Frostlass on the lead. Again, like I said before, I go straight for that Discharge to force the shield from my opponent. Otherwise, if they decide to no shield, we can do very well by just farming down. So we land the Discharge this time. In the previous game, we didn't. And now I'm going to show you guys, we're just going to go ahead and shield and then just Volt Switch down. This allows us to set up the mid game by applying a lunge debuff to whatever decides to come in, or if they're extremely weak to Discharge, right, hit them with the super effective damage. So they decided to come in with Toxicroak actually, so I'm going to go ahead and opt for the damage right here with Discharge, and then we will swap. It did so much. We're going to swap into Weezing. Now, This isn't the best swap in my history of playing because Mud Bombs do super effective damage, but not too much. As you guys can see, we can survive right there, and we can just go for Sludge Bombs right now. Going to be forcing shields from our opponent, and they cannot counter us down before we take away their shields because of our poison typing. So we do get one shield right there. That's great. We're going to be able to get the second one now, which is even better. I probably could have stayed in with Gavantula after landing the discharge and just volt switched it down, but that's okay. We got all shields. We can bring in Wormadam Trash right now and try to sneak a confusion through. So we do get the confusion through right there, which is perfect. That means they don't get 2 Mud Bombs against us since they did farm us down. So this is a beautiful setup now. We don't know what the final Pokemon is, but they decide to surrender. So my guess would be something like Nidoqueen in the back. Just because of the raw confusion damage. So good game, very well played. All right, we got Gavantula versus Shadow Skuntank here. So in this matchup is very dangerous. Shadow Skuntank is an absolute monster. It pumps out an incredible amount of damage, and it could sweep my whole team if I'm not careful, especially if they decide to bail out. But they no-shielded the lunge, so I'm going to go thank you very much. We're going to go ahead and shield and farm down with fast moves. And this is looking very good for us. We don't know what they have next, but we got to be quick to react. And it's actually going to be a Mawile, but it's with Ice Fang. A Mawile with Fire Fang would have ripped through my whole team right here. But it was with Ice Fang, and they decided to no-shield the discharge, which is great. We swapped out right away as well into Weezing, hoping to draw out maybe the Azumarill, the Quillfish that might have been in the back. Again, the same strategy we've been doing since game 1. And Sludge Bombs right here are really nice. Now, we do see the Drapion decide to come in, which is fine. We've evened up the shields. The Mawile is low and does not have Fire Fang. So I'd be curious to see, maybe it was just they forgot to TM, or maybe they have a specific strategy with the Ice Fang. But I think in this meta with all the bugs and some of the steals, the bug steals like Wormadam, Fire Fang is a really nice move to have. That's okay. We're going to be able to get to the Sludge Bomb now to apply some pressure on that final shield of our opponent, and we do get it. That is perfect for us. They will farm us down, which is fine by me. I believe I decided to come in with Gavantula, forcing the energy right here. I know because Mawile has Ice Fang, I can just keep my Wormadam Trash in the back, just healthy, and just let the Gavantula here take all the damage, and then we will come in now and close this game out because of the we're going to be resisting the charge moves right here, which is really nice. Well, actually, Power Up Punch we wouldn't, but Iron Head, yeah, not too much damage, and Ice Fangs are resisted. So we're just going to Confusion down, and that is going to be a good battle, very well played. Mawile, man, that's a scary Pokemon, especially with the typings that are in this cup. Fire Fang, I would have been done with Fire Fang, but good game to my opponent right there. I kind of lucked out with the fast move that they had, but overall pretty strong battle right there. All right, moving into the next battle, we have Gavantula versus Alolan Muk. Okay, so we're going to swap out right away into Weezing. This is actually a Poison Jab Alolan Muk as well, which is very nice. That means we're resisting it. We'll have to see how much damage Dark Pulse does to us. And I don't want to shield an Acid Spray first, so we're going to let this go. It is going to be the Dark Pulse that actually does a respectable amount, and we're just going to fire off these Thunderbolts now. Again, our strategy is to try to see what the opponent is doing, get ourselves shield advantage if we can, as it's looking like we're going to be able to. And I'm just going to go ahead and throw the Sludge Bomb now after building back up to that Thunderbolt, as again, it's within range to take them out. So if they no-shield this, which is fine, we'll have to see what the final Pokemon is. It's going to be a Skuntank this time, which is very interesting, having multiple poisons on lead and the back, but we'll have to do our best right here. We're going to go ahead and bring in I believe we decided to bring in the Gavantula right here. Because Skuntank is so low, I can commit 2 shields to basically fully farm down if I need to, especially if they're going to be shielding the lunges. So we're going to go ahead and give up the first shield here. Obviously, when you're using Gavantulas, you want to shield those first charge moves, because after you use a lunge, the attack damage from the opponent is lowered because of this debuff, which means that charge move isn't going to hit as hard. Now, they have a Drapion in the back, so it's actually a triple poison team, so mad respect to my opponent running that. as it's got great coverage. 3 poisons on the team though, but we should be able to handle this. It's going to be dicey, but I think we can do it because we have so much energy here on the Gavantula. So we're just going to go ahead and throw this lunge. We do get the final shield. And then we are going to swap now into Wormadam Trash to try to do our best to get the Drapion out of here and hit the Skunk Tank in the back with a charge move to finish off the game, as crunches are not going to be enough damage to take us out because of that lunge debuff. We also still kept a good amount of energy on the Gavantula there, so it's going to be 1 fast move away. But I think I'm going to have to throw this Iron Head. I'm overcommitting right here, which is unfortunate. Hopefully we survive the crunch. And we do. Just a little bit of HP left. So we're just going to go ahead and throw the Iron Head now. I'm actually going to undercharge it so that it doesn't do as much damage. That way I can do a confusion and try to farm down. But Skunk Tank now, the poison jabs are not doing enough damage because of our typing. And we are going to be able to take it out here. With the Iron Head as well, and then we are going to swap into Gavantula to get off the first fast move right there, and that is going to be a good game. Very well played. So overall, this team was pretty fun. Again, the strategy, lead with Gavantula. If it's lead loss or neutral, swap into the Weezing. It kind of confused the opponents. And sometimes they brought in something that was extremely weak to Thunderbolt. But honestly, in some of these neutral matchups, stuff like Drapion, like we saw, Thunderbolt did such a good job at putting pressure on shields and getting myself an advantage that I needed to sweep with either Gavantula or Wormadam in the endgame. So, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. And like always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.